have a request to do contour tutorial. And the reason I thought that it would be best is because I have eczema on my eyelids and my eyeballs are inflamed for some reason. So I haven't been wearing makeup on my eyeballs. It's getting better though, it's almost gone. So praying in the next couple days I can put eyeshadow on because it's almost Halloween and I got stuff to do.
Okay, so if you are interested in learning how to contour and highlight, just keep watching.
God, I'm so awkward. I gotta get better with the transitions.
So first off, with contouring, it's most important to know what the point of contouring is. So just like when you're highlighting your face, you want certain points of your face to stand out. Contouring does the same, but it pushes those features back and makes them sharper. So first I'm going to do cream and then I'm going to do powder on top so you guys can see. So with cream contour, this is my favorite, one of my favorites. It's the Chanel Bronze Universal. That's great for contouring. Also the Morphe 9FC palette is really good for contouring, cream contouring, but I found a really good drugstore. It's the Wet n Wild contour, and mine is in Where's Walnut. I think this is like $4.99 or something like that. So first I'm going to draw out. So first you want to look at the features of your face that naturally have a shadow. So you can see right here at my cheekbones, there's naturally a shadow right back here. So we want to take a line. We don't want to go down too far because then it's going to make it look kind of like a contour beard. So we want to go right above that shadow, just like that. Same on the other side. And then I don't really have this problem, but people with a larger forehead, you can contour up here because remember it's going to make everything look smaller. So if you have a larger forehead, you can contour up here. I have a small forehead, small face. I like to put a little bit right here, and that's just to add a little bit of color into my face. Now if you already have a long skinny nose and you want to make it look like a button nose, you don't have to do this part, just do it right on the tip here. We're going to blend all this out obviously, but I like to put a little down here because see, instantly it creates a shadow, it makes your lip look like it's poking out more. And then in my opinion, one of the hardest things to contour is the jawline, because if you don't blend it out, it can look really crazy. I just like to tilt my head and go right underneath. So basically, you just want to do that. I like to do this too. And then I like to do my chin. So you're going right underneath. You're not going up here, you're going right underneath your jawline. Okay, and then I like to take it down to help it blend in a little bit better. So, blending. So, you can use one of these sponges. This is the Morphe sponge. Personally, for me, with cream products like that, I like to use some sort of brush. It just blends in a little bit better. So this is a crown brush. Not sure which one, but it's kind of like a stippling brush. And then we're going to start here. And basically with contour, you want the most pigment to be back here. So all this right here, you're going to blend back. You're never going to blend below this point and bring it down here. So you'll blend it all back in circular motions. Make sure you get back here towards your ear too so it doesn't look crazy. Okay, We're going to go back and blend that out more, but before the rest of it dries, we're just going to blend it out. See, I don't really need necessarily a contour right here. I just do it for some dimension and for some color. I think a lot of people are probably using the wrong products, and that's why contouring is so difficult for some people. Contouring, I would say contouring and highlighting correctly is one of the more difficult things about makeup. And then under here, I like to go back and forth and then down. And then I kind of like to connect it here, that way it doesn't look like one straight line. Okay, so now we have that. My nose still looks crazy, but now we have that. With the chin and the very edges, I like to go back in with my foundation brush, or you can use a sponge for this part and just go over it again. I didn't put any more foundation or anything on this. I just like to go in with that. That way you can blend it all out. For my nose, I'm going to take a smaller brush and I think I'm going to take this Coastal Scents brush. You kind of want something that's a little more densely packed for your nose, just because it's a smaller area. So I like to go for that with this brush first, and I just blend it up and down to start with. And then right underneath, and then that little spot right there. And then we can use that same brush for this. Now you just want to make sure that it is a cool toned contour. So you can bronze with all the warm tones you want, but when you're doing a contour, in order for it to not look muddy, you need more of a gray tone. So this would be an example. This is an example, sorry, I'm blinding you. This is an example of a contour, and this would be more of a bronzer. Actually, since we used a drugstore cream contour, let's use this because I actually really like it. So for my contouring, I like to use very specific brushes. I like to use, I kind of alternate between these. This is an e.l.f. blush brush, and you can see it's kind of tapered and it's still fluffy. And this one is the same. This one's a little bit fluffier, and it is a Luxie 660 brush. So I'm going to go with the Luxie one and take that middle contour shade. I'm going to start back here, and I'm barely putting any pressure on my face. With contouring, you want to build the product, because if you don't, if you just go in with a ton of product at once, you can start to look patchy, especially when you're applying a powder over a cream. Alright, so I'm not done blending, but you can kind of see the difference. This one's deepened up just a little bit. I don't really like to go crazy with contouring, but I do feel like if I'm not wearing any makeup, like I haven't been, it does feel good to contour because it makes me feel more like a human. So I like to take it back here. I also have a little breakout right here, so just ignore that. We can set this just a little bit. And then for my jawline, I'm going to get a fluffier brush because I don't want it to be, my hair is crazy right now, I'm sorry. I don't want it to be too, I want it to look blended basically. So taking my Coastal Scents blush brush, getting some of that contour, and just dusting it under the chin. Okay, so you can see I already look a lot more human. Now I'm going to go in with a fluffier angled brush, and I'm going to take some of that powder and I'm going to set my nose contour. Just bring it down the sides a little bit. A lot of days when I'm not wearing any eyeshadow, I like to take a fluffy shadow brush and take some contour powder or bronzer and throw it in the crease, just like we did with the cream contour. Okay. Basically, just like anything else in makeup, it's all about blending. It takes time. If you're in a hurry, I would say the easiest thing is cream contouring. But if you really want it to last, I would say going back in with the powder is a good trick. Okay, so now that I've got my contour, I could really use a little bit more in the chin area, but okay. Now that I've got my contour, I'm going to, I don't know if anyone else does this. I'm not sure where I even learned this, but what I like to do and what I think works the best. So we're going to keep with the affordable trend, and we are going to use the Coastal Scents 10 blush palette, and I'm going to be going in with this shade and this shade. And I'm going to be using this same fluffy brush. And what I like to do is I like to take blushes that can also double as a bronzer, kind of. Like more of a brown nudie shade. I like to start them back here and slowly bring them down and blend them into my contour. Most of the time I use the Benefit Dallas blush for this, but these work great and this palette was really inexpensive and really good. Okay, so you can see my blush kind of just took away the harshness. If you don't wear blush, you can also do this with just a regular bronzer. So you could go back in with this shade and get like a really big fluffy brush and just take it and just do it all over your cheeks, and it would blend everything together. So, but this is what I do. I like to do it with the blush because it kind of adds color back into the face. So that's a good trick on getting your contour to blend. Just start your blush back here. Make sure you get a tone that's not too, like I wouldn't use like any of these for that or anything. I like to use the peaches and the nudie colors. I also like to put blush on my nose. I like blush, so. Okay. So before we do anything else with the contouring, bronzing, anything like that, we're going to do highlighting really quick. So what I like to do, I like to take this, I don't really put powder under my eyes because it looks awful on me. The only one that doesn't look awful under my eyes is the Laura Mercier, and I don't have that right now. So I'm taking the Coty Airspun powder. You can get this at Walmart or Walgreens. I think it's under $10, I don't know. But I like to take my Morphe sponge and go into the side of it like that. And I just take it like that. Just like that. Then I like to take a little right on the very tip of it, bring it down my nose like that, and then I just leave it while I'm highlighting the rest of my face. So this is what the top of that looks like, by the way. So these are the best drugstore options, in my opinion, for highlighters. This is the Physicians Formula. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow. This one's in Crown of My Canopy. And this is the Maybelline Master Chrome in Molten Gold. So these are all really, really good. I think today this one is the least expensive, the Wet n Wild one, and it's really good. So I think I'm going to use this today. For highlighting, you can use several different brushes. So you can use a fan brush. And in my opinion, if you like a subtle highlight, the fan brush is probably best for you. Morphe M510 brush. And it is so good if you want a pigmented highlighter. You want to put the highlight where you want your facial features to stick out. So I'm going to put it right here. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm going to put it right above my brow bone, right underneath my brow bone, right on my Cupid's bow to make my lips look fuller, tip of my nose. Okay, just like that. The other important thing to know about highlighting is to get the right shade for you. So, an example, see if I have an example. These are all, I like to use a mixture. When I'm really pale, I like to use more icy tones because they don't look too dark on my face. So I'm getting away with using these right now because I'm not super pale, but these are more like rose golds. Some examples of some icy highlighters. This one is IBY Radiant Glow Highlighter in Prosecco. Let's see. I love to use this one, but this one's really peachy. And this, I don't know what this is, but I just got it in a little sample. But this is a good example of like an icier one. So you want to make sure you get the right highlight tone for your skin tone. You want to make sure you're not going too light, you're not going too dark, etc. So just like we highlighted with actual highlighter, we are using the powder to highlight, but it's going to be a matte highlight instead. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush and I'm going to dust this away, and you can see it highlights the jawline. Highlights above the jawline. A good rule of thumb is anywhere you put contour, you want to put highlight on top of the contour. So like we put contour under here. We highlighted up here. We didn't highlight with a highlighter. We highlighted with a loose powder. We put contour right here. We highlighted up here. We put contour here. We highlighted on either side. And if you put contour on your eyes, you want to highlight your brow bone. So that's just kind of a good rule of thumb. Okay, and then last, I'm going to go in with the bronzer in here. And I'm going to take a very large, maybe. I'm going to take a very large fluffy brush. This is kind of a dome-shaped brush. I'm going to go into that shade, and I'm going to start back here, and I'm going to take a tiny, tiny little bit down here. See how much better that looks? Now it's not just a white line. Take a little bit on the chin, tiny bit on the forehead. Again, if you are very pale, you might not want to do this step, or you might want to do it with a lighter colored bronzer. It's up to you. And then I just kind of go over everything. So it really doesn't have to take you this long. Normally I don't cream and powder contour, unless I'm like doing a makeup look or trying to be fancy. But basically, if I'm in a hurry, I'll cream contour. Okay, so that is it for today's highlighting and contour tutorial using mostly drugstore products. If you have any other recommendations or you want to see anything else, just leave it in the comments down below and subscribe and like this video. Thanks, bye.
You want to put the highlight where you want your facial features. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. So I just take it on my brush, and when you're highlighting, you want to obviously put the highlight where you want your face. The other important thing to know about highlighting is to also get the right highlighting. I know my hair is crazy, I know I don't have any eye makeup on, but I have an excuse. Okay, with mostly drugstore products, and so the reason, so I've got Today we are doing a contour highlight tutorial with mostly drugstore products. I'm doing weird things with my hands today, I'm sorry. Yeah, so. Okay. What do I always say?